as far south as Olympia. He soon became infamous among his competitors for being willing to travel into treacherous waters and conditions others wouldn't brave in order to get his passengers and supplies to their destinations on time. From these humble beginnings, an empire grew. By 1890, while many businessmen were still reeling from the losses from the fire that tore through the business district in June of 1889, Oliver owned a fleet of 5 passenger yachts, 2 tugs for pulling log booms, and a steam-powered ferry built to rival his only competition, a boat called the City of Seattle, run by the Land and Improvement Company. By then the construction of his estate was already well underway. He'd built himself a simple log cabin nestled at the edge of the clearing, and had lived there until the first wing of his home became habitable. As his fortune grew, so too did the house. By 1895, it had 7 rooms. By 1900, 12. As with any difficult undertaking in the days before modern medicine and prevention, injuries happened. Even deaths weren't uncommon. While in Seattle proper the first electric streetcars crisscrossed the city among motor cars and horse-drawn carriages, the Hedgewood estate remained outside of time. Grover Cleveland might have felt comfortable having a wireman string up Christmas lights in the White House, but Oliver still held a deep, almost primal distrust of electricity, as did many of his contemporaries. For this reason, these accidents often occurred under the soft, flickering glow of gas lamps and lanterns, as plastering and plumbing, carpentry and bricklaying continued well into the night. The first such incident occurred when a bricklayer fell from a scaffold, though he claimed to have been pushed by an unseen hand. A stack of his own bricks broke his fall, and his back. Oliver begrudgingly paid the man's doctor's fees, in addition to a pittance to keep quiet about the unseen hand, a story which had already started to make some of the other men, a superstitious lot, the Irish, uneasy. Several weeks later, a carpenter's apprentice dropped a heavy plank of wood, which startled the horses behind him into a gallop. A rope left carelessly in the dirt, tied to the back of the horse cart, snagged tightly around his ankle as the animals bolted. He was dragged into the woods, jouncing over bedrock and bounding against tree trunks, until one of his fellow workers managed to leap onto the cart and rein in the wild beasts. The boy was so badly mangled he could no longer continue with his apprenticeship. Oliver paid his doctor's bill, and as he had the gentleman before him, provided a small fee to keep him quiet. Even so, word spread throughout the area about the house built upon the malignant plot of land overlooking Smith's Cove. Despite the elegance of his new home, which grew more extravagant with each passing day, Oliver himself began to wonder about the legends. The sky above was stained permanently black with soot from the local coal bunkers, the bay below crammed with log jams and steamships. The ash crept into everything, coating his possessions with a layer of filth as black as pitch. Even freshly prepared food wasn't spared from the affliction. It was as though he'd built the house directly atop an endlessly burning coal fire, or the mouth of hell itself. January 19th, 1897. As the erection of my house nears completion, I must ask myself if my needs will ever be satisfied. The rooms are undeniably stately, as opulent as any I've yet seen, though a voice persistently bellows within me for more. I have instructed the builders to adjust the size and shape and even intent of each room more times than I can count on one hand. Surely they must think me an escapee of Bedlam. As for the men themselves, I have worked them beyond exhaustion with my constant vacillation. This, compounded by the spate of accidents over the years, has pushed several of them to leave the crew, or worse. Just this morning a plasterer, thought missing for the past several days, was found dead beneath the staircase. Somehow he had managed to wall himself in. The stench emanating from the spandrel was atrocious. The plasterer's corpse and garments appeared to be thoroughly begrimed with soot, as if he had perished by asphyxiation, trapped perhaps within a chimney's flue. I cannot comprehend how the rest of the spandrel was spared from this scorching. It was as though his body had been set aflame, yet the flesh itself remained curiously unblemished. Still more perplexing was that this cadaver smelled not of smoke, but of the foulest stench of rot and putrescence I have ever borne witness.